Hello again, everybody. This is Derek coming at you with another Wargaming and Miniature video. And in today's video, we're going to continue on with our What's in the Box series. And in today's What's in the Box, we're going to be looking at the Kursk starter set for Flames of War. It has both Germans and Soviets in this box. It's designed for a mid-war battle. Let me go ahead and remove the plastic so we can see this box a little more clearly. All right, we got the plastic off, and it's a little bit easier to see this box cover right now. This box contains 21 tanks. Let's go ahead and flip this over so you can see the back of the box. This is a fairly large box, as you can see. What are we looking at? We're looking at like 17 inches long, 12 inches, 12 by 17. It's pretty big. All right, so if you don't know what Flames of War is a 15 millimeter or 1/100 scale World War II war game, and these models are 1/100 or 15 millimeter scale, and it says models shown at 100%. So what they're saying is these models should be this size. I think they're a little bit bigger personally, but that's okay. Now what this says you get in the box is a German force, which is these guys right here. You get a Soviet force, which is all of these guys right here. You get a rule book, not that. That's something additional that you could buy later. But it does come with an A5 rulebook, a quick start guide. A quick start guide is usually just telling you how to assemble each of your forces, and then 11 unit cards, because there's going to be possibly 11 different configurations of units that you could put in there. What's kind of surprising to me is not only does it have the T-34, which you would expect, but it also has Su-85s and British Valentine tanks. Those are. I'm not sure why the Valentines are in this box. Maybe Valentines were used by the Soviet Union. I'm not really familiar with that. I'm not really up to speed on my East Front or the theater in the East. They're, Soviet TONEs and all that. Okay, but what it did kind of alarm me is if all of these are, if they do this by point value, you're only getting, what is that, 7 tanks versus all of these. So these must be way superior than these, but I don't think they are. But I guess we'll find out. I mean, I guess if you play Flames of War, you would know. Okay, so this is just a slipcase cover. Let's go ahead and open this up. Slipcase, meaning the top just slips right off. Okay, first thing I want to notice is they got some beautiful red dice. I like that. I like that red and gold. That's very cool looking. I guess that would be for your Soviet player, and then the gray dice for your German players. But I'm sure everybody can share dice. Okay, and then we've got some anti-tank. Just tank. Got tank crew commanders in there. Okay. Now what I'd like to do is pull all these out and stack them up over here according to what tank they are. Okay, I'm looking for a label. BM12 or BMM. Okay. I believe the BM12 is just part number. Okay, I have a feeling these are all exactly the same, and they look like T-34 tank bottoms, or tracks, I should say. There's a lot of them. A lot, actually. That's quite a few. I'll have to double check to make sure that those are all exactly the same. But just glancing at them, they do look like they're the same. And these are all in Russian green. And then it looks like this is in like maybe a British olive. So this must be the Valentine tank. That right there. Su-85. It's got two different hulls, upper hulls, but only one lower hull. There's 4 of those. Okay. This could be T-34 or, well, okay, let me rephrase that. It could be a T-34 75 or 85. Yeah, T-34 hull and turret. Okay. But it looks like you've got both the T-34 and the, well, okay, they're both T-34s. 76 and the 85 gun turrets. Okay. Panzer 3M, what that says. That just says Battlefront, but that's probably a Panther bottom. I'll have to double check. A couple of those. Panzer 3M. This just says Panzer 3. Okay, so instead of using this turret, you can use that turret and those skirts and make this Panzer 3 a Panzer 3M. Is kind of what I'm gathering with that. And this would be the Panzer 4. Yeah, it doesn't say which Panzer 4, but I believe with the skirts and the turret with its own skirts, you could make that would be an H model. And this would be the Tiger in its entirety. Lower hull, upper hull, tracks, turret. Yeah. This is a Tiger. It says common mid. I'm not sure what that means. Mid-war? Yeah. And then finally, 2 Panther turrets and hull. Okay, which would go with the tracks here. Okay. Okay, and then this little pamphlet is looks like the instructions on how to assemble everything. We got the Panzer 4. Panzer III Late, Tiger, Panther. This says flamethrower, 75, 50 centimeter or 5 centimeter or flamethrower. So you can put any one of those on there. Interesting. Valentine, how to assemble that with the 2-pounder or the 6-pounder. And then the T-34. It doesn't really mention about the 85 millimeter. It shows all the completed Russian vehicles. T-34, 85, Valentine, various types. And then over here it shows you the Tiger, the Panther, Panzer III, and the Panzer IV. Ghost Panzers Tank Company. Okay. And then finally, there's a Ziploc bag here, which has the rules and the cards and the quick start guides. Okay. So the Flames of War rules in color, how it works, how to set up tables, how to roll dice, you know, how to mark casualties, give you a few scenarios in the back. Talks about the different how to pick your force. Pretty good. And then some charts. Okay, nice. We'll take a look at these cards here in just a second. I wanted to pull out the core rules. Okay, it does only have one. Okay, one quick start. Looks like Flames of War quick start rules. How to play, how to roll dice, what you roll to hit, defensive fire, and all that stuff in one little flyer. Nice. Let's get the Ziploc out of the way. And then you also get these cards, right? Okay. So, okay. Now these are 2 force selection cards. You know, like the Soviet force. This is enemy at the gates formations, and these are red banner formations. Red banner. Yeah, it says your force must contain at least one formation. And I guess you would pick Rifle Battalion or Mixed Tank Battalion or Early Tank Battalion. And then the same thing with the Germans. You know, you'd have your Panzer battalions or heavy tank company. These are all companies. Okay. Fallschirmjäger company, Grenadier company, etc. Okay. And then, so that means you need to choose one formation. I guess the Germans are calling them companies and the Russians are calling them battalions. Okay. So I'll just pull out a T-34 battalion headquarters, tank formation. And then it says T-34 tank battalion tank formation contains the battalion headquarters, 1 to 2 tank companies, and they could be T-70 Valentines or T-34s, and then an SMG company and a mortar, 0 to 1 SMG, 0 to 1 mortar company. So if you don't get the infantry, you could just go with T-34 battalion headquarters, a T-34 company, and a Valentine company, and that would satisfy your battalion formation. And a T-34 company has, you got two, you could technically have two T-34 companies, so they give you 2 cards, one for each company, and it could have up to anywhere from 3 to 10 tanks. Wow, you could put 10 tanks in one company. And in the Valentine, you could have anywhere from 3 to 10 Valentines. They give you 3, so you could have the bare minimum Valentine tank company. And then the Su-85, you could have 2, 3, or 4 for a battery, right? I'd have to look at the tank company. Okay, that's a tank company. And I'm not seeing any support elements. This says replace up to half of the Valentine's 2-pounders with the Valentine 6-pounder for 1 extra point each. So this is basing everything on the 2-pounder, but you could do up to half. That means less than half. If you have 4, you could do 2, but if you only have 3, you could only do 1. Okay. Okay. Now back to the formation where you say, okay, you've chosen the T-34 tank battalion as your base, but then over here you could get support units, and one of the support units is I see Su-152 and I see Su-76. I don't see an Su-85 as part of your support units. Oh, wait, I take that back. An Su-122 or Su-85. Okay, so you could get an Su-85 battery. Nice. Okay, so that would be quite a few points. Okay, let's take a look at the German force. It's probably going to be a mixed panzer company, I'm guessing. But there's only 3 cards of Germans. 4 cards, maybe. Yeah, 4 cards. Okay, there's the formation right here. Mixed Panzer Company, Panzer 3 and 4. Okay. It says the formation must contain 1 Panzer 3 or Panzer 4 company, which is right here. Panzer 3, mixed Panzer. Yeah, that's the HQ. So you could have like 2 Panzer 4s as the HQ, or you could even have 1 Panzer 3 as the HQ. Okay, and then the next line is you have to have a mixed platoon or a Panzer 4 platoon. Okay, and a mixed platoon or a Panzer 4 platoon or a Panther tank platoon. Yes, you can have 2 as a Panzer, as a Panther. Panzer 3s, you can have 3. Okay. So you could have 3 of those But it only has 2. Hold on. Replace up to 2 of the Panzers with a Panzer IV. Interesting. Okay, so you have 3 tanks, but one of them is a Panzer IV, and the other 2 are Panzer IIIs. The HQ is a Panzer III, or I'm sorry, Panzer IV, and then the Panthers is a Panther platoon of 2. Okay. And then 0 to 1 heavy tank platoon. And you could take this as your heavy tank platoon, and it says you can have 1 Tiger as fulfills that need of that platoon. It's a little finagling, but you can actually get a force. I don't know how many points each of those would be, but as you know, I don't play Flames of War. That's not. I think it's a great game. I love the ease of Flames of War. Yeah, I love the ease of, and I love the fact that they give you cards for each of the units and things like that. But I play a game called Battle Group, and the point values and the distribution of units and stuff like that are a little bit different, and ranges are a lot longer, and tables are bigger, and things like that. So it's different. It's just a different feel to the game. Okay, so this is a mid-war Tiger. Two Panzer IVs, 2 Panzer IIIs. You can make them in a variety of different configurations. 2 Panthers, 3 Valentines. Now this Su-85 has no tracks, and these T-34s have no tracks. So there's 7 of those and 4 more of these, so that's 11. So I wonder if they give you 11 of these. It looks like they might. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that leads me to believe that the same tracks are used for the T-34 as they are for the Su-85. And accessory-wise, okay, these don't have any guns on them, so I probably have to use the 85 gun right there on the SU. Because there's like the gun. There's the gun. What do they call that? The glacis plate. The pintle for the 180 for the 85. And then there's the glacis plate pintle for the T-34. But they give you the 85 turret, so I would think, I mean, if you wanted to make 85s, you could, but that's not part of the mid-war army list that we just looked at. Oh, wow, those tracks. These are rubber, not the solid steel. That looks really, and they look really good. Looks like they got 4 different barrels here. I'd have to determine like which ones are which, because maybe that's supposed to be a 122 or a what do they call it? Like maybe a 76 is supposed to go on there. I don't know. I'm not up to speed on my Russian tanks. Okay, so let me adjust the camera. We'll take a close-up look at a couple of these sprues so you can see the quality of the models. That's a nice looking model there. All right, I want to start off with the Valentine. Just looking at the hull, very detailed, and then the tracks. That's the inside, but there's the outside. Got some unusual looking tracks. You got a little sag in the chain links. I like that. I like when they attention to detail to that. Okay, the top of the turret. Guess that's the top of the turret as well, but with an open hatch. Maybe there's two different types of configurations because I see a left and a right hatch there, and then I see a solid hatch there. So I don't know. Because there's like one hatch, two hatches. There's a couple of side skirts. The gun. I don't know if that's a 2-pounder or a 6-pounder. I don't know what the where the differences are. There's the different front, what do they call it, glacis plates. Very nice. The T-34. Two different turrets, the big fat one and the thin one. And then you just see the insides there. There's nothing on the inside. And then there's the tracks for the Russians. Rubber wheels. Right across the top. There wouldn't be a whole lot of sag because the wheels push both ways. They roll on the ground and on the top. And then there's all the accessories and the extra gun barrels. I don't know which ones are which. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Flames of War makes their tracks unique on the fact that they've got like one bump on one side and two bumps on the other side, so that when you mount them to the hull, you get one bump on one side and two bumps on the other to prevent you from putting it on the wrong side. And this is the SU, and it comes with two hulls, so I'm gonna have to check to see which hull is which. And I wonder if I can make a couple of SU-85s and maybe an SU-122. I don't know if that's a possibility. Okay. All right, and this is a Panzer IV. One way you can tell real quick is on the tracks. There's 8 bogies, right? So half of the bogies is the Panzer mark, so Panzer IV. I like the sag on the pretty severe sag. That's pretty cool. And you can see they did the same thing on the back of these tracks, 2 and 1. so that when you go to put it on the hull, you can't get it backwards. Here's the hull. Looks like it has Zimmerit. There's the bazooka skirts, as they call it. There's the cannon. And then on the other side, you got the upper hull. Okay. The Tiger got some unique double layer wheels there. Back exhaust. This is something I've noticed on this model. It has the modified exhaust system for when it's in the tropics. Chains on the side. Front plate. Some extra tracks for armor, machine guns. Okay. Panthers are in two parts. Looks like it's got some of that anti-tank mine paste on the side, the Zimmerit style. Backside. Turret is covered. Nice. Now, one thing about the hull on the Panther, it does not have the pins, but it does come back, and then it has like this little notch coming down to make sure that you put the track on the right side. Because the Panther tracks on the inside, you can see they come down and then they got this little notch right there. So they only fit one way. And then a ton of accessories for the Panther. A couple of different gun styles. Maybe for an A or a G or a Delta model, I'm not sure. Now here's the Panzer III, and you'll notice there would be 6 bogies. Half of that is 3. Now this hull does have the 2 pins, well, the 3 on this side, and 2 on that side. So the tracks are going to have 2 and 3. There's the hull, Panzer III. It's got a big open engine compartment. I guess you would cover it with a plate, like that plate right there. And then the added piece with the skirts on the side and the skirts around the turret. And a different type of exhaust, it looks like. And it may be a different gun. Alright, so you've seen all the sprues. Okay, we didn't do a close-up of the dice or the tank commanders, but you've seen those already in other videos. You don't need to see a close-up of the rules or anything like that. But I do want to point something out about the box that I just noticed, and I think you would probably like to know. On the side of the box, it says cut out these objective and tokens for use in your first games. And it's talking about bailed out, pinned down, destroyed, so you can mark them with destroyed markers. And then on the other side, you've got German bailed out. You got pinned and bailed out, more Russian ones, and then more destroyed. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, guys, well, that was what you get in the Kursk box. It's a lot of vehicles, 21 tanks. If you're just looking to get started in Flames of War and you want a lot of tanks and you want to do the East Front, this is a good starter. I do believe that this is a brand new starter. I don't think it's very old. Hang on. Well, this says 2022, so it's probably just came out last year. And if you're needing to add on to your Russian force or maybe add on to your German force, I would highly recommend it. This set normally goes for about $60 instead of the $210 that you would expect if you had to buy your tanks individually or in platoon boxes. All right, well, thanks for coming out and watching this What's in the Box, and I'll see you in the next one.